The sky was filled with strange lights that flickered like fireflies, but these lights were not from Earth. They were the beginning of something no one was prepared for. The Thoraxians, an alien race with technology far beyond anything humanity had ever seen, had arrived. Earth's military forces were unaware of the scale of the threat until it was too late. Cities across the world started to feel the tremors of alien warships descending from the sky. They came in massive fleets, dark and menacing, blocking out the sun. No one knew what to expect. Some thought the aliens might come in peace, but those hopes were shattered when the first city fell to their attack. New York was one of the first places to face their fury. The Thoraxian ships unleashed devastating weapons, destroying everything in their path. Buildings crumbled, fires spread like wildfire, and people fled in fear. But the humans, with all their weapons and technology, stood no chance against the invaders. The aliens seemed to have thought of everything: shields that couldn't be broken, weapons that could pierce any defense. Humanity's best soldiers fought bravely, but their efforts were in vain. The world watched in horror as the alien ships methodically wiped out one city after another. The military tried everything they could, launching airstrikes, missiles, and sending out their best warriors, but the Thoraxians simply shrugged off every attempt to fight back. It became clear Earth was no match for them. In the White House, President Daniels and his advisors gathered in a secure room, faces grim and defeated. There was no plan, no backup, no way to stop the invasion. "What do we do now?" one of the generals asked, his voice shaking with disbelief. "We fight," President Daniels said, his voice steady despite the fear. But even he knew that fighting would likely lead to disaster. The aliens were relentless, and their ships were too powerful. Across the world, people were desperate. They watched as their homes were destroyed, and their families were torn apart. Panic spread like a disease, and humanity seemed to lose hope. Every radio station, every news channel, every social media feed showed the same message: Earth was being invaded, and Earth was losing. But then, something unexpected happened. In the depths of Earth's military command centers, scientists and engineers were working on a secret project, a project that, until now, had been kept hidden from the public. In the shadows of this global crisis, a glimmer of hope began to emerge. Earth's hope wasn't lost yet, but it was now up to a single ship to change the course of history. But could this ship, made with humanity's best efforts, truly be enough to face the alien onslaught? Only time would tell. As the Thoraxian ships continued their assault, humanity's fate rested on a weapon that had not yet been tested in battle: the Titan, Earth's last hope. This part sets the stage for the invasion, focusing on humanity's desperation, and introduces the idea that there is a secret weapon, the Titan, which will play a crucial role in the story. As Earth fell into chaos, the world's leaders were forced to face the cold, harsh reality. Their armies were no match for the alien invaders. Major cities had already been reduced to rubble, and panic had spread across the planet. People tried to fight back, but the Thoraxians were too powerful, their ships immune to human weapons. It seemed that humanity's time was running out. In a small, secret underground facility in the United States, the highest-ranking military commanders gathered with top scientists and engineers. They had been working on something for years, hidden from the public eye. Something that might just turn the tide of the war. General Carter, the commander of Earth's defense forces, stood at the head of the table, his face tense. "We've lost every battle," he said quietly, "but we still have one chance." He turned to a large screen behind him. On it was a model of a massive warship. The ship wasn't like any human-made craft seen before. It was larger, more advanced, and stronger than anything the world had ever known. This was the Titan, an experimental warship built in secret by the best minds on Earth. It was still unfinished, but it had the potential to be the last hope humanity had. "The Titan is our last weapon," General Carter continued. "It's still in testing, but we can't afford to wait any longer. We need to launch it now, or the Thraxians will destroy us all. A scientist, Dr. Emily Shaw, stood up from the table. It's risky, she said. The ship hasn't been fully tested in combat. The weapons are powerful, but there's no guarantee it will work as planned. The Titan could fail. We don't have a choice, General Carter replied. If we don't try, Earth is finished. The room fell silent. For a moment, everyone could hear the distant rumble of explosions from the alien bombardments. The sound of Earth's cities crumbling echoed through their minds. It was a sobering reminder of what was at stake. Finally, Dr. Shaw nodded. I agree, she said. We'll have to make it work. It's our only shot. And so, in the heart of the secret military facility, plans were set into motion. The Titan was prepared for launch, and a team of the most skilled pilots and soldiers was selected to man the ship. Among them was Captain Alex Turner, a young officer who had spent his entire life dreaming of flying advanced warships. Now he would be part of the team that would decide the fate of humanity. As the Titan was moved to its launch bay, tension filled the air. There was a sense of urgency and uncertainty. Would the ship's experimental systems hold up under pressure? Would humanity's final weapon be enough? Captain Turner stood before the ship, staring up at the massive hull of the Titan. It was the most advanced warship Earth had ever built, sleek, powerful, and brimming with humanity's best technology. Yet, as the countdown to launch began, Captain Turner couldn't help but feel a sense of dread. The stakes were higher than ever before. As the launch sequence initiated, the crew took their seats, their hearts racing with fear and hope. The Titan was their last chance, and with it, they had to fight back against the alien invaders. With a loud roar, the Titan's engines ignited, and the ship soared into the sky, carrying the hopes of humanity with it. The battle for Earth had just begun. This part introduces the Titan as Earth's last weapon and sets up the tension surrounding its launch. It also shows the desperation and determination of humanity's last chance to defend itself, while introducing Captain Turner as a key character. The air was thick with anticipation as the Titan lifted off from Earth's surface. Its massive engines roared to life, sending tremors through the ground beneath. Captain Alex Turner tightened his grip on the controls as the ship ascended into the sky, cutting through the atmosphere like a knife. His heart raced, not from fear, but from the weight of the mission ahead. This wasn't just another battle. This was humanity's last chance. Behind him, the crew of the Titan worked silently, their faces lit by the soft glow of control panels. Each of them understood the stakes. If they failed, Earth would fall, and the Thraxians would be unstoppable. The warship's weapon systems were untested in real combat, and the crew's training had been limited to simulations. There was no guarantee that the Titan would work as expected. As they reached the edge of space, Captain Turner looked out of the window at the swirling blue orb of Earth below. It felt surreal, knowing that the world they had known, its cities, its people, was on the brink of destruction. He could only hope that the Titan would be enough to stop the alien onslaught. The ship entered the vast emptiness of space, and Captain Turner turned to his tactical officer, Lieutenant Maya Hall. "What's the status of the Thraxian fleet?" he asked, his voice steady but tense. Lieutenant Hall's eyes scanned the monitors in front of her. "They're still advancing. There are at least 5 Thraxian battlecruisers heading toward Earth, along with several smaller attack ships. They're getting closer." The pressure of the situation was beginning to build. The Titan had only one chance to strike before the Thraxians arrived in full force. "Targeting systems are online," Lieutenant Hall reported. "We're ready to engage." Captain Turner nodded. "All right, let's make sure we give them a fight they'll never forget." He pressed a button on his console, and the Titan's weapon systems powered up. The ship hummed with energy as its cannons and laser turrets were armed for battle. Despite the uncertainty of the mission, the Titan felt powerful, like it had been made for this very moment. In the distance, the Thraxian ships grew larger. Their sleek, dark shapes moved with unnatural precision, closing in on Earth with the deadly intent of a predator. The Titan was alone in the vastness of space, facing the full force of an alien armada. But Alex Turner felt a surge of confidence. This was humanity's ship. It was built by human hands, designed by human minds, and it had the power to fight back. As the first Thraxian ship fired a volley of plasma missiles, Captain Turner's hands moved instinctively. The Titan dodged and countered with a series of precise shots. The alien ship exploded in a flash of light, sending debris spinning into space. A cheer went up from the crew, but Captain Turner's focus never wavered. There was no time to celebrate. The Thraxian fleet was relentless, and this battle was only just beginning. "We've got their attention now," he muttered. "Stay sharp." The battle for Earth had officially begun, and the Titan was humanity's only hope. Every moment counted, and as the Titan engaged the Thraxians, Captain Turner knew that this was only the first of many challenges they would face. But with the Titan by their side, humanity would fight to the very end. This part focuses on the Titan's launch into space and its first engagement with the Thraxian fleet. It builds tension, showing the crew's nervousness and the ship's potential, and sets the stage for the upcoming battles. The stakes are high, and Captain Turner's leadership is highlighted as the key to humanity's survival. The battle raged on as the Titan streaked through space, dodging enemy fire and retaliating with deadly precision. Every shot from the alien ships hit its target with terrifying accuracy, but the Titan was faster, more agile. Its advanced shields absorbed the worst of the Thraxian blasts, and the ship's cannon sent enemies spinning into the void of space. Captain Alex Turner's eyes never left the view ahead. His fingers flew over the controls, directing the ship with quick, practiced movements. For a moment, it felt like they were winning. The Thraxians had never expected such resistance, and now they were paying for it. "Good hit," Lieutenant Maya Hall called from her station, her voice filled with excitement as a Thraxian attack ship exploded into a ball of fire. 1 down, 4 to go. But just as they began to celebrate their first victory, the Thraxians responded. A loud alarm blared throughout the ship, signaling a new threat. Captain Turner turned sharply to his communications officer. "What's happening?" "More ships incoming," the officer replied, eyes wide with alarm. "They're bringing reinforcements. It's not just the cruisers anymore. We've got at least 2 Dreadnought-class warships joining the fight." "Dane," Captain Turner muttered under his breath. These weren't just any ships. They were the largest and most powerful warships in the Thraxian fleet, designed to take down entire planets. The Titan had already shown its strength, but could it handle this? "Prepare for evasive maneuvers," he ordered. "We can't fight them head-on with this kind of firepower. Let's get around them and take out their support ships." The crew went to work, quickly adjusting to the new strategy. As the Titan sped toward the enemy fleet, Captain Turner's mind raced. They had to find a weakness, something that could give them the edge. The Thraxian dreadnoughts were too heavily armed for a direct assault, but perhaps the smaller ships, their support vessels, were vulnerable. The Titan weaved between enemy fire, moving in unpredictable patterns, all while keeping a careful eye on the dreadnoughts. The crew worked together flawlessly, coordinating weapons, shields, and navigation with incredible skill. They knew their ship inside and out, and now was the time to use every advantage they had. "Captain," Lieutenant Hall said urgently, "I've found a gap in their defense. If we hit them just right, we can destroy their communications relay, disabling their reinforcements." "Do it," Captain Turner said without hesitation. "Get us close enough and fire everything we've got." The Titan darted forward, narrowly avoiding a barrage of plasma bolts from the Thraxian warships. They were dangerously close now, but Turner could see the opportunity. With a loud crack, the Titan fired a concentrated pulse directly at the enemy relay, smashing it to pieces. A wave of silence filled the ship as the Thraxians scrambled to react. One of the dreadnoughts began to lose coordination, its weapons firing erratically. The Titan didn't waste a second. It moved in, delivering a series of devastating blows to the unprotected ship. Another one down. Lieutenant Hall cheered. But even as they celebrated their small victory, the remaining Thraxian forces regrouped. The fight wasn't over. In fact, it was just getting started. "We've got their attention now," Captain Turner muttered, eyes narrowed. "They won't back down. Neither will we." As the Titan and its crew braced for the next wave of attacks, it became clear that the Thraxian fleet wasn't about to give up easily. But the humans aboard the Titan had proven one thing. They were not ready to surrender. The war for Earth was far from over, but humanity's resolve had only grown stronger. The Thraxian fleet had proven to be more resilient than humanity had ever anticipated. Despite their initial successes, the Titan's crew knew that the battle for Earth was far from won. The alien fleet was regrouping, calling in reinforcements from every corner of the galaxy. Their dreadnoughts and battlecruisers were massive, their weapons more powerful than anything the humans had seen. Captain Alex Turner stood at the front of the Titan, gazing out at the vast expanse of space. The stars seemed far away, yet they felt as close as Earth itself. His mind was focused on the war ahead, on the lives of everyone back home, and on the fate of the human race. The Titan had proven its power, but even this mighty ship couldn't take on the entire Thraxian fleet alone. Lieutenant Maya Hall's voice broke his thoughts. "Captain, we've received an encrypted message from Earth Command." "Put it through," Turner ordered. A moment later, the message appeared on the screen in front of him. It was from General Carter, leader of Earth's defense forces. "Captain Turner," the message began, "we're facing overwhelming odds. The Thraxians are sending everything they have. The Titan is humanity's only hope, but we can't rely on it alone. You have to lead a counteroffensive, but we need your help to bring the rest of Earth's forces together. We can't fight this war with one ship. We need every piece of technology, every human fighter, to turn the tide." Turner's face hardened. Earth's remaining forces were scattered, isolated, and outmatched. But if they could unify and coordinate, there might still be a chance. "We'll do it," Turner said, his voice resolute. "We'll fight back together. No more running." Lieutenant Hall looked over at him. "What's the plan?" "Earth's military is still scattered," Turner explained. "We need to establish communication with all of Earth's remaining ships and bring them to us. We'll form a new front, and together, we'll make sure the Thraxians know they can't take this planet. We'll need every ship we can get." Captain Turner turned to his communications officer. "Send out the signal. Let's call the troops." The Titan's communications array hummed to life, broadcasting a signal across deep space. The message was simple, but it carried the weight of humanity's future. "This is Captain Alex Turner of the Titan. To all Earth vessels, we fight together, or we die alone. Come to our position, now." The response came almost immediately. Small fleets of human warships began to emerge from various regions of space, slowly assembling near the Titan. Each ship was different. Some were damaged, some barely operational, but together, they formed a fighting force. The humans had no more time to waste. The Thraxians were coming, and they would stop at nothing to conquer Earth. "We've got them," Lieutenant Hall said, her voice filled with cautious optimism. "They're responding to the call. Earth's forces are coming together." Captain Turner looked at the growing fleet with a mix of pride and determination. It wasn't much, but it was enough. The Thraxians might have advanced technology, but the humans had something they didn't: resolve. "We fight now," Captain Turner said, his eyes locked on the stars. "Let's show them that Earth is not ready to fall." The Titan moved into formation with the other ships, each one a symbol of human strength and unity. As the alien fleet continued its advance, humanity's response was clear. They were ready to face whatever came next. This wasn't just a fight for survival, it was a fight for the future of humanity. And Earth would not go down without a fight. This part focuses on the strategic shift that Captain Turner and his crew make in their fight against the Thraxians. It highlights the human effort to unite scattered forces, setting the stage for a larger, more coordinated counterattack. The theme of hope and resilience is central as humanity prepares for its next challenge. The battle for Earth had reached a critical moment. The Thraxian fleet had been relentless, pushing humanity to the brink of defeat. But now, with the Titan leading a newly formed coalition of human ships, the tides of war were beginning to shift. The human forces, though small compared to the vast alien fleet, were united in their determination. Captain Alex Turner stood at the helm of the Titan, staring at the enemy fleet in the distance. The sight was overwhelming. There were dozens of alien warships, each more advanced than anything humanity had ever built. But Turner knew that if they could hold their ground, if they could survive just a little longer, they might be able to turn this war around. "Captain, the fleet is in position," Lieutenant Hall reported. "We're ready to engage." Turner nodded. "Let's show them what Earth is made of." The Titan and the small fleet of Earth warships moved into formation, preparing for the most intense battle humanity had ever faced. The crew was tense, knowing that the outcome of this fight could determine the survival of the human race. Every hand on the Titan's bridge was steady, but inside, everyone felt the weight of what they were about to face. The Thraxians didn't wait. The moment the two fleets were in range, the alien ships opened fire, sending a barrage of plasma and laser beams at the human forces. The Titan dodged the first wave with ease, its advanced shields absorbing the hits. The human warships, though less advanced, followed the Titan's lead, weaving through enemy fire and returning fire with all they had. "Return fire," Turner commanded. "Let them feel the full force of humanity." The Titan unleashed its weapons, sending powerful energy blasts at the nearest Thraxian warship. The alien ship was caught off guard, its shields crackling under the intensity of the Titan's fire. With a final burst of energy, the Thraxian ship exploded into a cloud of debris. "One down," Lieutenant Hall cheered, but Turner's eyes remained focused. There were still more enemies to fight. The alien fleet seemed to regroup quickly, sending in reinforcements to replace the fallen ships. But something was different this time. The Thraxians were no longer as coordinated as before. The Titan and the other human ships had disrupted their formation, leaving them vulnerable. Turner could see it in the way the enemy ships moved. They were panicked, unsure of how to respond to the human resistance. The Thraxians had underestimated humanity's ability to fight back, and now they were starting to realize the mistake they had made. "Captain," Lieutenant Hall said, "we've got another opening. Their command ship is exposed. If we hit it now, we can cripple their entire fleet." Turner's heart raced. This was the moment they had been waiting for. If they could take down the Thraxian command ship, the rest of the fleet would fall apart. "All units, focus on the command ship," he ordered. "This is our chance." The Titan surged forward, its engines roaring as it cut through the chaos of the battlefield. It dodged blasts from enemy ships, its weapons locked onto the command ship. With a series of well-placed shots, the Titan struck the heart of the Thraxian vessel, its shields failing under the power of the human attack. A massive explosion erupted from the command ship, sending shockwaves through the Thraxian fleet. The remaining alien ships faltered, their coordination thrown into disarray. "We did it," Lieutenant Hall shouted, her voice full of triumph. "The command ship is gone." Turner allowed himself a small, triumphant smile. The Thraxians will feel that. But there was no time to celebrate. The battle was far from over. The remaining Thraxian ships were still dangerous, and the human forces had to stay sharp. "We keep pushing forward," Captain Turner said, his voice calm but firm. "Let's finish this." As the battle continued, humanity's resolve grew stronger. The Titan and its crew had struck a critical blow to the Thraxian fleet. The tide of war was beginning to turn, and for the first time since the invasion began, humanity dared to believe that victory might be possible. The destruction of the Thraxian command ship had shaken the alien forces to their core. For the first time in this war, They were no longer the unstoppable force. The humans, led by the Titan, had struck a blow that had disrupted their entire fleet. However, the Thraxians were not a race to admit defeat so easily. They had tasted victory for far too long to let it slip away so quickly. In the vastness of space, the remaining Thraxian ships seemed to regroup, but there was something different in the air now. There was fear. The once confident alien commanders had begun to show cracks in their perfect, calculated movements. It was a sign that their previous certainty, that they were invincible, was starting to fade. "We've got them on the run," Lieutenant Maya Hall said, her eyes scanning the battle ahead. "Their formation is breaking apart. They don't know how to fight back." Captain Alex Turner, standing at the helm of the Titan, could feel the change in the air. The Thraxian fleet was scattering, but that didn't mean they were out of the fight. If anything, it meant they were preparing for something far more dangerous. "Keep your focus," he said. "They're trying to regroup. They'll throw everything they've got at us." As if on cue, the enemy fleet began to reorganize, pulling together their forces into a new formation. This time, however, they weren't just reacting. They were planning something. Suddenly, a new wave of Thraxian warships appeared from the shadows of nearby asteroids, reinforcing the front lines with a new terrifying weapon, a massive planet-crushing battle station. "Captain, we've never seen anything like that," Lieutenant Hall said, pointing at the new enemy vessel. It was enormous, easily 3 times the size of the Thraxian dreadnoughts, and it was armed with weapons capable of wiping out entire fleets in a single blast. The Titan's sensors showed its weapon systems powering up, and the crew could see the massive cannon on the station's hull beginning to glow with ominous energy. "This is bad," Turner muttered. He understood what the Thraxians were doing. The battle station was their last-ditch effort. If they could destroy Earth's remaining fleet in one blow, the war would be over. But if humanity could survive long enough to launch a counterattack, they might just finish what they had started. "Get us into position, Maya," Turner said, his voice unwavering. "We can't outrun that thing, but we can take it down. We got one shot." The Titan sped forward, avoiding blasts from smaller Thraxian ships that swarmed the area like bees. The battle station loomed larger with each passing moment, its enormous guns now aimed directly at Earth's fleet. "All units, brace for impact," Turner ordered. "This is it. We don't get another chance." The Titan launched a series of quick strikes, sending missiles and energy blasts toward the battle station. But the alien weapon was shielded, and the blasts bounced off harmlessly. The Thraxians were ready for the human assault, and their shields held firm. "We need to get closer," Lieutenant Hall said. "If we're going to disable those shields, we have to find a weak spot." Captain Turner didn't hesitate. "Prepare for evasive maneuvers," he ordered. "Get us as close as we can." The Titan sped toward the battle station, narrowly avoiding incoming fire. The alien ships in their path exploded as the human fleet retaliated, but the battle station was still standing. The Titan's engines roared as it pushed forward, the gap between the 2 massive ships closing with every second. "This is it," Captain Turner said, his voice calm despite the chaos around him. "We go for the core." With a final push, the Titan plunged into the heart of the Thraxian battle station's defenses. The human crew worked in unison, coordinating their attack with incredible precision. The Titan's powerful weapons fired directly at the battle station's core, striking the weak point they had been searching for. The explosion that followed lit up the sky like a second sun. The battle station, the symbol of the Thraxians' final hope, disintegrated in a brilliant flash of light. The Thraxian fleet reeled, disoriented, as their last weapon was destroyed in an instant. "We did it," Lieutenant Hall whispered, her voice filled with disbelief. For a moment, there was nothing but silence. The Titan's crew looked around, their faces filled with exhaustion and relief. They had done the impossible. The Thraxians had been defeated. But Captain Turner knew the war wasn't over yet. The Thraxians still had forces left, and they would be back. However, today, humanity had won a critical victory. The tide had turned, and the alien invaders had learned a painful lesson. They had underestimated humanity. The fight for Earth was far from over, but now, humanity had hope. The aftermath of the destruction of the Thraxian battle station sent shockwaves through the remaining alien fleet. The battle had shifted in humanity's favor, but the Thraxians, though stunned, were far from finished. Captain Alex Turner knew this victory, while significant, was not enough to end the war. The Thraxians were desperate, and desperate enemies were the most dangerous. "We've hurt them, but they're not done yet," Turner said, his voice steady as he surveyed the battlefield. The Titan and the human fleet had momentarily gained the upper hand, but the Thraxian forces were regathering, their ships now more scattered, but still fierce. Lieutenant Maya Hall nodded from her station. "The enemy is regrouping. They're sending everything they have left. The remaining fleet's targeting us directly, Captain." On the screen, a new wave of Thraxian ships emerged from behind the asteroids, their hulls gleaming under the light of distant stars. These ships were different, larger, more advanced. They were the Thraxian elite forces, and they were coming for Earth's last hope, the Titan. Turner clenched his jaw. "They know we've got them cornered. It's all or nothing for them now. Get ready, everyone. We're taking the fight to them." The Titan surged forward, its engines roaring to life as it dove into the heart of the enemy's remaining forces. Captain Turner and his crew knew this was their final chance to end the war. The Thraxians had one last weapon to deploy, and if they succeeded, Earth's fate would be sealed. But if humanity could hold on just a little longer, the Thraxians' empire would crumble. "Focus fire on their lid ships," Turner ordered. "We can't afford to let them regroup. Hit them hard and fast." The Titan's cannons fired in quick succession, launching bolts of energy at the advancing Thraxian warships. The enemy ships retaliated, their plasma beams cutting through space with deadly accuracy. The Titan's shields absorbed the blows, but every hit shook the entire vessel. It was clear that this battle would be their hardest yet. Lieutenant Hall tracked the movements of the Thraxian ships, coordinating their attacks. "Captain, we've got a weakness in their formation. If we take out their command ship, the rest will fall apart." "Do it," Turner said, his voice unwavering. The Titan locked onto the Thraxian command ship, which stood in the center of the formation, surrounded by elite warships. With precise maneuvers, the Titan cut through enemy lines, narrowly avoiding enemy fire. They were in range now, and Turner's finger hovered over the firing button. "Ready, Captain," Hall shouted, her eyes fixed on the target. Turner nodded. "Fire." The Titan's main cannon fired a concentrated beam of energy, striking the heart of the Thraxian command ship. The explosion was massive. Fire and debris erupted in every direction as the alien vessel disintegrated. The remaining Thraxian ships faltered, their coordination shattered without the command ship to guide them. "Now hit them with everything we've got," Turner ordered. "Keep the pressure on." The Titan and the human fleet launched a relentless barrage, overwhelming the Thraxians. One by one, the remaining enemy ships exploded in bright flashes, their alien forces scattered. The Thraxians, once so confident in their superiority, now found themselves on the defensive. As the last Thraxian ship was destroyed, a wave of relief washed over the Titan's crew. They had done it. The war was finally over. Humanity had not only survived, they had triumphed. But Captain Turner knew this victory had come at a great cost. The war had taken its toll on both sides, and Earth would never be the same. The Titan and its crew had fought against impossible odds, and they had come out on top. But the scars of the war would remain long after the last Thraxian ship had been destroyed. "We did it," Lieutenant Hall said, her voice filled with awe. Turner allowed himself a moment to breathe, staring at the void of space where the Thraxian fleet had once been. "We fought as one," he said quietly, "and we won as one." With the battle won, and the Thraxians retreating, Humanity had earned its place in the stars. The future was uncertain, but for the first time in a long while, Earth could hope again. The silence of space was deafening after the final blow was dealt to the Thraxian fleet. The once proud alien invaders, who had thought themselves invincible, were now scattered across the stars, their forces decimated. The Titan and the remaining human ships floated in the aftermath of the battle, surrounded by the remains of shattered Thraxian warships. Captain Alex Turner leaned back in his chair, exhausted but relieved. His crew was too, but there was no time to rest. The war was over, but the consequences of the invasion would be felt for a long time. The Titan had secured humanity's survival, but the question now was what to do next. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission," Lieutenant Maya Hall said, breaking the silence. "Put it through," Turner replied, his voice hoarse from the constant tension of battle. A holographic image of General Carter appeared on the bridge. The general's face was tired, but there was a sense of pride in his eyes. "Captain Turner, you've done it. The Thraxians are retreating, and their fleet is in disarray. Earth owes you and your crew everything." Turner nodded. "We fought as one, General. It was humanity's strength that won this war, not just the Titan." General Carter smiled, though the weight of the war still hung heavy in his expression. "Your leadership has made all the difference, but the Thraxian Empire is not easily defeated. We've won a major victory, but this is not the end. The Thraxians will retreat to lick their wounds, but they won't forget what happened here." Turner knew that Carter was right. The Thraxian fleet had been broken, but the aliens had the resources to rebuild. Earth's victory was important, but it was also a reminder that there was still much work to do. "We'll be ready," Turner said. "We'll rebuild, and we'll defend our home." The communication ended, and the bridge fell into a somber quiet. Despite the victory, the Titan's crew knew that the war had taken its toll on both sides. Earth had been pushed to the brink, but now, with the Thraxian fleet in disarray, there was a chance to regroup, rebuild, and prepare for whatever came next. "Captain," Lieutenant Hall said after a moment, "there's something I've been thinking about. We've won this battle, but what about the rest of the galaxy? The Thraxians may be defeated, but there are other alien empires out there. Will Earth be able to stand against them?" Turner turned to look at her, his gaze thoughtful. "That's the question, isn't it? We've learned a lot from this war. We've learned that we can fight, that we can adapt, and that we can unite in the face of an overwhelming threat. The Thraxians thought they could break us, but they didn't count on humanity's will to survive." He paused, then added, "We'll continue to grow stronger. This war is over, but our journey is just beginning. We're no longer just a small planet in the corner of the galaxy. We've proven we can hold our own, and the rest of the universe will take notice." The Titan drifted through space, its crew exhausted but resolute. They had won an incredible victory, but they knew that the true test of humanity's strength would come in the years to follow. The Thraxian Empire might have fallen, but other challenges lay ahead. Humanity had proven its resilience, its ingenuity, and its ability to fight against impossible odds. But now, the real work began. Earth would rebuild, and humanity would rise to take its place among the stars. And as the Titan moved toward Earth, its crew looking out at the stars ahead, they knew that the future, though uncertain, was bright. The fight had been hard, but humanity had emerged stronger for it. The Thraxian Empire may have fallen, but the story of humanity had only just begun. Earth's skies were clear once more, the dark shadows of alien ships now a distant memory. The Titan had returned to Earth, bringing with it not just the crew, but the hope of a planet that had been pushed to its limits. Humanity had fought back against the Thraxians and emerged victorious. But Captain Alex Turner knew that this was only the beginning of a new chapter. As the Titan descended toward Earth's surface, the crew gathered on the bridge, their tired faces illuminated by the soft glow of the control panels. They had won the battle, but the war had taken its toll. Their homes, their families, their cities, Everything had been threatened. Yet, against all odds, humanity had persevered. "Earth's in our sights," Lieutenant Maya Hall said, her voice steady despite the exhaustion. "We're heading for the capital." Turner nodded, his gaze fixed on the blue and green planet below. It was hard to believe that just days ago, Earth had been on the brink of destruction. Now, the planet seemed peaceful again, its bright colors shining under the sun. As the Titan touched down, a cheer erupted from the crew. They had made it. They had saved Earth. The moment was bittersweet, however. Turner knew that while Earth was safe, the galaxy would not forget the battle that had just taken place. The Thraxians would regroup, but they would also know that humanity was not a race to be underestimated. "We did it," Lieutenant Hall said, a smile finally breaking through the tension. Turner smiled back, but it was a smile filled with thought. "Yes, but this victory has come at a cost. We've learned something important about ourselves. We can fight, we can survive, and we can unite when we need to. But we also need to prepare for what's next. This isn't the end of humanity's journey. It's just the beginning." General Carter was waiting for them as they exited the Titan. The once worried face of Earth's leader now shone with pride. "Captain Turner, your crew is the reason Earth stands here today," he said. "You've given us a future." Turner saluted him, then turned to his crew. "We did this together. Everyone here played a part in saving Earth. We've proven that humanity is strong. And now, we'll rebuild." The streets of the capital were filled with people cheering, waving flags, and celebrating the return of the Titan. Earth had faced destruction, but it had also faced its darkest hour with courage, resilience, and strength. The war was over, but the scars it left would take time to heal. As Turner walked through the streets with his crew, the crowds cheered, but Turner's mind was elsewhere. The Thraxians were not the only alien empire out there. Other threats would come. Others would test humanity's resolve. Earth had been tested and had passed, but the galaxy was vast, and humanity would need to be ready for whatever lay beyond their home planet. But for now, Earth celebrated. Humanity had won its greatest victory, and for the first time in a long while, the future seemed bright. The Titan's crew knew they had faced an impossible challenge, and had overcome it. They had saved Earth. And now, humanity would rise to claim its place in the stars. The war was over, but the story of humanity was just beginning.